In the early part of 1873, Livy and I and our neighbors and good friends, the Warners, were sitting around the table one evening talking, when Charles and I began to tease our wives about the low quality of the novels they were then reading. Our wives responded to our chaffing by challenging us to write a better novel, promising to read it if we could, and would do it. Charles and I snatched up the gauntlet and began preparations for joining forces on a work which would expose the extreme materialism of the day. How could we turn down the dare? I did not stop to contemplate at the time that Mrs. Clemens, allowing herself the company of novels of that ilk, may have been the escape she needed from the all-consuming grief of losing Langdon. Something to merely distract her, that is, without having to ponder weighty thoughts and philosophies. The result of our efforts turned out to be called The Gilded Age, A Tale of Today. The novel, America's first about Washington politics, proved a resounding success. What I mean by that primarily is that our wives read it and gave it their approbation. As far as the book's popularity outside of our Nook Farm neighborhood goes, it was that too, but I ended up making even more money from the plays produced based on the book's chief character, Colonel Sellers, than from the book. Of perhaps greater value, though, is that this exposure that Charles and I made has lasted without let-up until now. For our example of pillorying these pasteboard plutocrats, such as Gould and Rockefeller and Frick and their ilk, has not abated, not completely anyway. Yet in general I do not care for the medium, novels that is. You may find this inconsistent, as I myself have written them, but that really proves nothing. Just because a thief likes to rob people doesn't mean that he enjoys being robbed himself.